Hello guys, welcome back to the Play On Podcast with your hosts Jerry and Jesse. This is episode 96. It's a somber mood.
Has nothing to do with what we talk about at all. Only like the ending part of it. But yeah, me and Jesse are kind of down. The Bears lost. It's there's not much to say. We're close. We gave Rams a run for their money, and just a few things fell through.
Yeah, it was the worst because there's so many lows and highs, and then especially that high at the end with the Caleb Williams throw. Then OT, you just felt like we were gonna win it, and then it just went away so quickly.
And it sucks for me because my team lost twice. So Barcelona lost, and then the Bears lost.
Exactly, it was about to be a great weekend for me, dude, if they won.
But yeah, see, you had to root for Barcelona, Jesse, so they could win, and then we would have been in the NFC Championship game against Seattle.
It's Jerry's fault because he trimmed his playoff beard. You
Where?
you can't touch the beard.
Where?
The sides. I
That's a
see that.
coffee thing. The sides. I can't even
No,
grow hair right here.
no, you can't touch it. You can't touch it at all
But yeah, dude, that's for hockey, I swear.
for
But
anything.
but yeah, we'll talk about that first since I brought it up. Barcelona dropped points this weekend in a tough environment in Anoeta against Real Sociedad. Did they play bad? Nope. They created, I think, 21 chances, three disallowed goals, and yeah, just what is it, one goal to count for. So it was it was frustrating, dude. There's a lot of blame on the ref from some of the players' sides. I agree somewhat, but I think Barcelona should have just put that game to rest. They just weren't clinical at the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of easy chances that I saw that were missed from who was it?
Dani Olmo, dude. Three
Danny Olmo.
clear
Yeah, yeah,
ones. Three
yeah.
clear
Yeah,
ones. I was texting it the whole time about it, and we were saying it like this guy should be benched and should not be starting at all because god damn.
yeah, because he had his fair bits. Ferran Torres had one. I think it was kind of there, but it wasn't Daniel Olmo ones because Daniel Olmo had sitters that you're supposed to finish even off if you're like a midfielder. But yeah,
Yeah, it's just frustrating. And then too, like the really bad offside call, in my opinion, the one they called on Lamine Yamal. By the way, they used the wrong frame for the semi-automatic thing. But again, that's besides the point. I think Barca was more than capable to win without that, and they just weren't. It's frustrating too, because Rafinha was supposed to start this game, but they announced that he had a knock, so he had to be benched. They didn't want to risk him because they have a huge Champions League match this week. Again, they got to just keep winning and hope in hopes to get top eight. So they didn't risk it. But it sucks too. It sucks,
oh,
dude, because what is it? Madrid is like pretty much crumbling internally, and we just gave them a chance to come back. So we had a 4 point difference, and now we only have a one. So I know you're pretty excited about it.
is it a big Champions League match though?
Well, in terms that they can't lose, they can't drop points anymore.
It's
They've been
against
pretty,
Slavia
but
Prague.
and it's away too. Again, they can't drop points. I think they've lost three matches this season, or I think they lost the PSG. They lost the PSG, won the
Chelsea.
Chelsea, and they tied against Bruges. So that's what is that? Seven? No, no, it's 8 points drop. So again, they can't drop points. Chelsea, we haven't been consistent.
And then there's gonna be a shortage of midfielders now, or not shortage, but there's gonna be a lack of a midfielder with the draw news being announced in the middle of the weekend, which came out of nowhere, really.
Yeah, he apparently wants playing time, and his solution is to go to PSG. Jesse,
Yeah, I heard it. It made me laugh when I heard that.
it's like at least don't lie about it, dude. Like, let's be honest, you're not going to PSG and becoming an instant starter. Or the other rumored club was Man City.
Yeah, it
Um,
was Man City, Chelsea, PSG, and I think the other one was Bayern. I would understand Bayern because they're
mhm.
recently been giving more chances to youngsters, and they're like rotate more on their company. But PSG, like you're not breaking into that midfield three. They already have their own youngsters breaking in, and they're barely getting game time, or like the game time they do, you're probably not going to get since you're going to have to get implemented into that. City is even more difficult because any player that goes to City is known to like you either take a year to like get used to the surroundings or you hit the ground running. But for a youngster like him, I doubt it's gonna be the later situation. And Chelsea is we know Chelsea.
Yeah, we know Chelsea that's already have a 53 man roster like in American football at this point. And
And
Flick
plus
was pretty stern about like the whole thing of him announcing that he's leaving, and he made a message out in the press conference to the youngsters saying if you don't want to live for these colors, just leave, or something like around that. But it was yeah, it's honest. It's him being honest too, like because how are you going to expect to play every game? Like Lamine Yamal is an outlier. Your position is like what is it? Very packed. There's a lot of people in that position. Like you got to give yourself time to eventually get into that what is it, starting role? Because I think January is like probably the worst month because we have like every 3 days a game. You had an opportunity, but clearly he wants to go somewhere else.
there's already the prime example of like Mark Guehi, not Guehi, the striker that went to Chelsea.
Yeah,
Is it is that how you say it?
it's cool. Something with the G. I can't really say
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it.
that's why I said Guehi. I was
There's
like
him. There's Elax Moriba as well.
yeah, that they went away like I can't remember his name, how to say it, but he went to Chelsea. It wasn't for money, supposedly. But look at him; he's hardly gotten any game time, and he's ridden the bench continuously. And like, I think he barely got game time this year in like a comp competition. So like, it wasn't the best career move so far because it hasn't worked out. Because we're in year two, and it's he hasn't made any rapid development when he was supposed to be like the next Masia gem, and he's just gotten lost. So that could happen to him. And I know there's also another link of one of your center backs, another young center back, is also linked up, moved away and thinking of leaving in a similar situation. So, I understand leaving and going on loan to like develop or like going to another club to get game time, but there's also the difference between like doing that and then just leaving for the money. Because you're going from like Barca to PSG, like that doesn't really make sense because it's not like the game time is not guaranteed at all.
Yeah, it's not at all. Like a move I would understand. Like right now, the rumor is Mark Bernal uh, possibly going to Girona on a loan spell, similar to Eddie Garcia, so he could develop and get playing time. Because again, we can't give it to him at Barca because the position is very saturated. Um, and of course, he accepts that he's willing to accept that role as a loan move because he knows he's going to get playing time. It's a team that requires that like his caliber of player because they can't really produce youngsters just yet. Like that makes sense. So if Dro would go to like Girona, it would make sense. Okay, he wants playing time, or like a Valencia, Betis. But PSG, it's like, let's be honest. You're not gonna beat out Vitinha and Ruben Neves, like two of the best midfielders in the world at the moment.
Yeah. And it's like it's the example like of what you should do is like Endrick right now, who this past weekend had a great match or great debut in the League On. Like he went from Real Madrid to Olympique Lyonnais, and who we know is struggling right now with like the current situation. He's getting game time and he's getting playing time, which he's sorely needed for his development, and is sh showing the raw talent that he had, but they just didn't have the opportunities to display at a big club. And he could use that for this development and then come back and be get that game time because he shows like on his CV that he's like, oh, this is what I can do. And
Yeah, and he's playing pretty good, and he's playing on the right wing on top of that. Like he's playing I would say out of position, but if anything, again, it's developing him to play other position other than striker. Who Endrick reminds me a lot of is Agüero, especially like his build and everything. He's kind of a not a traditional striker, but kind of a 10 because he is building up a lot of chances. He is running with the ball. He is scoring. I think he scored midweek, right? Not during the week, not during the weekend.
I want to say he just gave an assist during the weekend.
But yeah,
During the week he scored.
hmm so yeah, he's just developing his game and it's beneficial to him. Hopefully he just doesn't go back to Madrid. Hopefully he just gets mad, Jesse, and just be like, nah, I
No,
don't want to go back to that club.
no, he already said he's just it's not it's not a goodbye for forever. It's just for now. You know, he's coming back. That he wants to come back to Madrid.
Hopefully not. But hey, there's a player that's willing to take a step back, knowing that he's young and going out there just to go play.
Yeah,
Because he could easily just rode that bench and what is it, cash in on that money. But
and plus he was also getting loan offers from like big clubs. Like I think Chelsea asked for him, Spurs or like all these. Well, Spurs isn't a big club, but like you know all these other ones. And they're like he could have gone there and be like, oh yeah, I'm going there to like develop, but that's not true at all. Like he went to like a club where he knew the game time was guaranteed,
yeah,
and he
again, I
would
was gonna say like the guarantee time was not guaranteed at Chelsea at all.
yeah, like he went there where it was guaranteed, and he knew the development would be great. Because like Olympique, we know they develop great talent, like with Ryan Cherki, Bradley Barcola, like all these other talents that have come out of there. We know they give them the game time and like the coaching to like show their talents.
Yeah, and it's cool to see, honestly. But again, don't go back to Real Madrid. Don't go back. Because again, I've always said it, he has a lot of qualities, but just don't show that quality against Barcelona. But yeah, speak of the team you just mentioned, Tottenham Hotspurs, Jesse, they are looking bad again.
They're horrendous. They just recently lost, or this weekend they lost to West Ham, who are even worse than them somehow, but they somehow still beat them because they're fighting for relegation. Like it's crazy because they got what was it, the old like national stadium in London
Hmm.
before they moved it to like what is it, Wembley or like whatever it's called, like can't remember what it's called, but it's like a 60,000 stadium, seater stadium in London, and they could potentially be going to the championship or second division. It's insane for West Ham to be in that position, considering the amount of money they spend on transfers. And we like always look at them and like that makes sense. Like that's a pretty good deal, but they just never work out. And then you have Spurs, who we said it, they shouldn't have fired Ange, and it's coming back to bite them because under Thomas Frank they've looked worse.
Yeah, they look worse. So it's like just causing more frustration in the locker room because we believe certain players should have been playing. A la, what is his name? Johnson, the guy that just left.
Yeah, Brendan Johnson made the right move, jumped off the ship when he saw it sinking, and he went to Crystal Palace. And
Yeah.
again, they also Kudus also got injuries out until like April.
Hmm. So, yeah, it's a good time to leave Tottenham. I don't know. I think they had a couple of transfer rumors in their like what is it, circle coming up, but yeah, I don't know. The latest transfer rumor it was no, not Julian Alvarez. I was about to say that it's not the right one. But I don't know. At this point, I don't even know who's gonna solve that Tottenham Hotspur's issue. We think they have a good pieces. They have Romero, a good center back, Van de Ven, a really great center back, goalkeeper on top of that. So they have quality all around, but like they just can't put it together, especially under
Yeah,
Thomas Frank.
and especially like ta talent like that won't stay there forever for like million results and not being able to like consistently play in Europe. Like I know Van der Ven has been linked with a move away this summer, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does because he is one of the most talented center backs in the world and could potentially be one of the best.
Yeah,
But he just hasn't had the platform to show it. And also, there's like prime examples of players going there that haven't gotten the chance. That like Matthias Tell, he went to Spurs thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get this chance to play at striker or left wing, especially with Sonny leaving. You're like, oh, he could play left wing, he could play striker since Solanke was out. He hasn't gotten the opportunity. Even in Champions League, he's been left out the match squad. So he's starting to regret his decision, and players are going to look at that situation and be like, maybe I shouldn't go there because look at what happened with him. Even Kolo Muani wasn't getting a lot of chances when he was him being loaned there, and it was just like you saw what he was doing with Juventus last season. You're like, Why would I go there?"
yeah. So let's see what what their what is it? how they're gonna solve that, but I don't think it's gonna get any prettier. Jesse, do you think Thomas Frank lasts the whole season, or does he get fired beforehand?
I just think they'll keep him for the rest of the season because Spurs don't really make that type of move. I It's hard to remember the last time they made like a move or like this deep into the season. I know there was a Nuno Espirito Santos a couple years back,
Yeah,
but besides that, I don't see it happening like this deep into it. And the last time they did do it, it didn't work out well. They fired Jose Mourinho when he was about to win the Cup.
yeah. At this point, they're probably gonna get the next player to become the interim. Because again, if Tottenham, I think loses one more. I think it might be the end of Thomas Frank. Because what is this? They've lost three since January. Yep. Last time they won was in December 28th, 2025. Probably almost a whole month. So yeah, he's on the hot seat. I don't think he lasts longer. It's gonna be chalk for him.
Yeah. And then sticking with Premier League, there was a big upset this weekend
Yeah,
that I
dude.
don't think anyone could have predicted.
Man, you freshly new manager, Michael Carrick. Well, interim manager.
Yeah.
Just destroyed Man City.
Yeah, they did get lucky in the first half with like not getting a red card
Yeah,
for
that low
Dallo.
challenge. It was
Yeah,
horrible.
that it was criminal. I'm surprised he didn't get a red card, but they got lucky. But besides that, they had control of the match. Man City just didn't look like they were in it at all. I don't know if the early challenges put them off or what, but they didn't provide any danger really.
Maybe it was like their midweek match against Newcastle because it was a pretty tough match at away, and then to play again away at the Theater of Dreams and a Man U that's like inspired because their new coach is there. Maybe it was just a lot of legs, but yeah, Man United looked great. At one point they were playing like tiki-taka football, which I didn't expect. But even with the new manager, Kobe Mainu finally got his game time, and he looked pretty well.
Yeah, and plus it's like what should be expected of Menu because it's the players that they have. It's not like they're like nobodies. They spend big money on these players, and they like at one point were like rising prospects or like hot markets on the name. So they have talent. So they should just be able to like do this, compete for top four in the league and all these other things. So like it's shouldn't be too surprising that they're competing at this level. It's just that we haven't seen it for years now.
Did you see one of the Neville's? I don't know which one. The one that's always on like the podcast, whatever. Um,
Gary.
he because there's rumors about Luis Enrique potentially going to Manchester United because he didn't re-sign with PSG,
Hmm.
and he said that he does not have the level to manage Man U. The guy that won the treble with PSG, the guy that brought up first Champions League to PSG and was what is it, two-time treble winner? He doesn't have it, Jesse. He just doesn't have it.
Yeah, it's just the English media, man. Like you just can't.
It
There's
just
n
goes to show you, dude, like all the biases and like pretty much they kind of, in a way, the club kind of destroys itself. Because like, wouldn't you want to be praising a manager like that? Because he's again a winning manager.
Well, I think it's like a point that Roy Keane mentioned over like the weekend after the match. He's like, I think it's just a difference between the English media of how they represent or like how they go after like Almiron, a Portuguese manager, a foreign manager. They show no love for them and they just like criticize them any chance they get. Meanwhile, Michael Carrick, an English manager, they show as much praise as they quickly can because they're like everyone immediately start pointing after that one match said keep him permanently, make him a permanent manager, take off the interim tag and make him permanent manager, and he's the solution, as if he's just like the Messiah. He's like, it's one match. Let's relax. Let's keep on watching in a couple months and see how he does. But it's like he's like, it's it's a drastic change how the media portrays these managers.
It is, but currently I think the front runner right now is what is it, Gunnar Solskjaer?
Yeah, the former player. He was also the former manager. So,
Yeah, just going back to his old ways and going back to what didn't work. Well, in a way, I think they won a couple of things with him, right? But even then, like they're not gonna win the league.
I don't think they did.
He has
I
like a
think
level.
I think Ten Hag went to, and then before him went Solskjaer. I don't think they won anything. I think they just finished maybe second or third. And then I think before that, the last person who won anything was Jose Mourinho. Might be wrong, but I think that's right.
From what I can remember, I don't even know how to spell it. There you go. I'm gonna check his wiki. But again, this just doesn't solve anything. Like you would want to recruit a top manager. Amorim was a good manager, but he was just constantly getting destroyed. And again, it doesn't help you with like dividing the locker room for him when he's trying to strive for something good. But then ex players and everything else, they start weighing their opinions and make it more difficult.
Well, yeah, because look at it, how they quickly or how much they defended. Because Gary Neville was like first Ole Gunnar, he like defended him like no other. Like he would him and like the former Man U guys and the media would like defend him like crazy. The fans loved him, even though like he wasn't clearly up to the level. And then quickly they turn on like all these foreign managers where they show no support. Because I think Gary Neville was has been negative on him since like day one.
Um, yeah, he didn't win anything unless you call the Premier Reserve League,
Yeah, no.
which is not the right thing. Yeah. Hey man, just let Man U do its own thing. They're riding on former glory. They are literally the old Liverpool. Remember when Liverpool haven't won anything
Yep.
and everyone just kept talking about their glory days? They are them now. You just got lucky with finding Ferguson, and that's it.
Well, that's what like almost 14 years now since their last title.
Yep. But
But I mean, look for Man City. Look on the bright side. It wasn't just you that dropped points. Arsenal drew with Nottingham Forest, so it wasn't too much of a leap that or like a step back that they took to in the title race.
but it's kind of pissing me off, dude. Like like Man City has been bad. At this point, I think Arsenal might pretty much be given the league just because of that, Jesse. There's been
Yeah,
times,
but I
but
don't think so because Man City, one of the big problems that they had that we mentioned previously was that their center back situation where they've had a couple injuries and we I maybe had a Freudian slip, but like they recently signed Mark Guehi to come in this January and everyone wanted him to help or solve those center back problems or to alleviate them. And like they also signed Semenyo who has hit the ground running. He's had like two goals. They're building up for this chase. And Arsenal, say what you will, like they have been dropping points and you as everyone's saying their defense is like invincible. They've been letting in goals. Like they let two against Chelsea, which was a close game. Nottingham Forest 0-0. Like Nottingham Forest is like towards the bottom of the table. And then they also had a rough go with Bournemouth, which they barely won 2-3. They drew with Liverpool, who everyone had them as clear favorites, and then also Brighton before, like a couple games before that, they struggled. Like they're showing cracks, and it's mid-season.
uh, like I agree with you, but also Man City's showing cracks. We got to see how they're gonna go. Like again, you mentioned those signings. Hopefully it solves it, Jesse, because I don't want to see Arsenal win a Premier League.
Me
Uh,
neither. That's why I'm saying this.
but again, it just gives you that 2016 vibes with Leicester City when no one wanted to win the league. There was like stretches of matches where like the top four was dropping points. And again, it kind of happened. Like Man City got three draws and a loss in the past five games with one win. That's so many drop points. At this point, Man City should be top of the league, but you know, didn't pan out well.
Yeah, but again, Arsenal have to play against Man U, who, like we said, looked revived with their new manager. Maybe let's see if they live up to the task against Arsenal, if
Yeah.
they could draw points. And meanwhile, Man City should have a cakewalk with Wolverhampton. who is literally in last place. They literally
Should.
have
They
one
should.
win.
I know they should, Jesse. They should. But yeah, that Arsenal Manchester United match is gonna be great. We're gonna see how Michael Carrick does. I think if they win that match against Arsenal, Michael Carrick gets the job, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think with
It's gonna build up hype.
the media hype is gonna be insane by that point, and they're just gonna, because it's like their two biggest rivals,
Hmm.
excluding like Liverpool.
That'll be interesting though. Like I think in a way it would prove that Michael Carrick is getting a message across and having them play a certain way. And again, like you said, Arsenal's showing cracks. This is the match to like get that job, you know?
Yeah.
But speaking of drop points, Madrid took advantage of Barca dropping points and they won their match,
Yeah, it
but at
was
the
so,
same time getting booed.
yeah, it was a crazy week. It was an up and down week because to give context to those boos, midweek they were playing against Albacete, who is 17th or 18th in the second division. So they're literally in dropping relegation zone in there. So they're a struggling team, a very bad team from the second division up against Madrid midweek. First game of Arbeloa should be a cakewalk. Uh, and it was anything but. It was a horrible game to watch.
That was a great game, Jesse.
It was a horrible game to watch. It was 3-2 for Albacete. And yeah, and it was funny because I like some of the things that Arbeloa did because he brought in the Castilla players who actually demolished this team like earlier. But it was funny because like no one looked like they wanted to play except Arda Güler, which is funny because he was a prime soldier or like a defender of Xabi Alonso and was like the best players that had to sort of make way for like the politics that was going around. So he was dropped from the squad or the starting 11. And the players that complained the most, Vinny Jr., Federico Valverde, started and played this game, but you could be surprised if you find them on the pitch because they literally did nothing except like shoot it into the stands. And they're prime examples of their form or whatever you want to call it not being there. And yet they were complaining about Xabi Alonso, him bringing the team down, having them in a horrible position in the game, making it, and then also like or like the board making it feel like they were out of everything. So when this loss came, everyone started pointing fingers at the players because they're like, Xabi Alonso's not there. Like, this is on you. This is what you wanted. You guys were making out that he was a problem. Yet you guys lost to a second division team.
I
And
loved it, dude. I loved it.
yeah,
Yeah, they all look kind of deflated. There's been a lot of talk about Vinicius Jr. being kind of like the captain now at this point, which I don't think he even is the first captain. Like there's someone before him, correct?
no, it's Dani Carvajal and then Valverde because it goes by seniority, like tenure.
Yeah. But Arbeloa like he keeps mentioning in the press conference that Vinny wanted the ball. That's what we want from him. And then like there was a training video that came out actually today, or I don't know if it was yesterday, of Vinny saying like, "Oh, let's start bringing fines back. Let's start bringing fines back to Arbeloa." And he's like, "You have a right idea. You have that's a good idea. Let's do that." So it seems like again, Vinny's being given all this power again, and I think it's just gonna blow up in Arbeloa's face, and he's just gonna lose the job. When again, this job is up for grabs. There's like clearly no front runner on who's gonna get this job.
Well, I find it funny because Arbeloa is made it out to seem like as he's basically a puppet right now, and it's
Yeah,
such a shame to see because he was like one of the really promising coaches because in Castilla or like the juvenil stages he was like a showing really good promise. He was competing against Fernando Torres against in the Atletico Madrid like youth teams, and he was showing like he could potentially be a really good coach in the future. But it looks like he's being tainted by this politics that's going on, because basically after that loss no player wanted to come out. Apparently, it was dead silent in the locker room, and he had to come in and say it was all my fault. And even in the press, he had to say it was completely my fault. The players did nothing wrong. Like, no, we clearly saw what was on that field, and we we fired Xavi for this result. Like, it was like our expectations were low, but holy shit, they somehow found a way to go lower. And
yeah,
then the response was like which rightly so by the fans were like, oh, we're playing in Santiago Bernabéu. We're gonna let the feelings be known to the board and the players of how we feel about them at this current moment. And also, I want to call it the board because it was so stupid of what they were doing. Because La Grada, you know, like the
The
the wall,
ultras were pretty much all where they're at.
they basically told them that they would have to applaud, and that if they were found cheering, because they were going to check the security cameras, everything, they were going to
Revoke their
revoke
card.
their season passes.
Which is insane, dude. Like they don't even want the the fans to criticize it because that's always been a thing, right? Like things aren't going well, isn't changing, players aren't changing their attitudes. That's how the fans let the players know, like we're not happy with the club. And for the club to try to manipulate them and be like, no, if you boo, you're getting out. That is insane. Like I
Yeah,
don't think I've ever heard of that before.
yeah. So, but the fans, everyone else, they didn't care. They immediately let them know how they felt in the beginning, and they even let Florentino Perez know because he is a prime suspect in a lot of what's wrong with the team. Because team building and like letting the situation carry on and letting these players who haven't lived up to the billing so far have all this power, who haven't produced results. And then the first half, I wanted to say that Arbeloa, the lineup was wrong. He put Gonzalo Garcia on the right wing and basically left him ineffective, and the whole first half was just horrendous. And the booing was getting worse, rightly so. And then, but he fixed it by in halftime again. Arda Güler, who was fantastic, and Franco Massantona, who brought it as a natural right winger, brought in a lot more than Gonzalo Garcia into that, and just helped fix what was wrong with the team because it looked like it was those two by themselves. And Guler has 10 assists in the season, even though he's for like the past month or so been out of the lineup because of like this politics.
Yeah, it's a definitely a puppet situation, like you said. He doesn't have control of the lineup, and I think that's how Florentino wants it. I think that's why they're going to struggle to find a manager that's going to listen to him and give up control. But
Well,
yeah,
even at
players are going to suffer for it.
afterwards in the press conference, he said, "Yeah, those aren't real fans who were telling
I've
Florentino to
seen that.
leave or like booing him. It's like he is like Madrid, and he's like one of the best, most influential people since Santiago Bernabéu." And I can agree to a certain extent, but that doesn't mean he doesn't come with faults.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you can't criticize him. Like he's not going to be perfect. Clearly, this is probably the roughest patch in his what is it, Madrid career.
No, because also in 2006 when he left, because he left after the Galactico era, he left the team in this shambles, and a new president had to come in for 3 years and like help self stabilize the team because it was like just in a horrendous spot. And he took over again in 2009 when they brought in like Ronaldo, and like they had a great transfer window, but he does have his faults. Like his first period came crashing down because he got too much into the image of like Real Madrid and like this marketing and like out things outside of football, and it's looking like it's happening again.
Yeah, it's literally play by play. All the signings don't make sense. It's literally just marketing. Looks like it's like I think I mentioned what was it a couple of episodes ago? I said he's trying to like or raise the market value of the Madrid club to potentially sell it because there is a potential sell going on of like it's not going to be privately owned. Well, it's not going to be publicly owned by the fans anymore. It's going to be privately owned. So there's a lot of factors. And again, he's not running for presidency, so which gives it more of an indication that they are selling the club. But no matter all this, Barca drop points and they let a weak Madrid get revived and gain some confidence because I think this is probably the lowest confidence the Madrid team has had in as far as this season goes.
Yeah, and it's funny because the board and like the players and everyone around it made it feel like it was like Madrid was in this horrible situation with Xabi Alonso. But if you look at it, just one dropped game for Barca. Madrid's 1 point behind them. They're still competing and almost through in the Champions League group stage. They were still in Copa del Rey. They were competing against Barca in the Super Copa, and yet they made it out seem as if it was like the most horrible situation in Madrid.
See, Real Madrid fans would not last it, dude. They haven't had it bad. I remember when Barca was like what in seventh place when before Xabi Alonso took over, and he got us all the way back to second, and then the following year he won us the league.
No, Jerry, you early 2000s, like I said, that period after Florentino, We were in tough situations.
Well, that's why I meant like the new fans right now that have never experienced this. Like this is all new to them because everyone that becomes a Madrid fan, it's like within the past 5 years when they won the three Champions Leagues in a row. So they don't
Yeah,
know. They don't know suffering.
no.
And I expect them to jump ship, Jesse, if Madrid starts going bad. But I think they could right the ship. But again, if it's Arbeloa being a puppet, no.
I think we're gonna see because like I said, I think he is a promising coach and he does know like some tactics and like how to set up the team or like fix a team or like set up the teams in certain situations. Like, but it's also can be a development for him and like having to navigate everything that's happening like behind the scenes, the politics and everything else. But I do gotta say, I just co gotta come in and say for because a lot of people were giving shit to Bellingham, but I gotta say compared to how Vinny handled it, he handled himself way more professionally. Because even if he did have a problems with like the setup with Xabi Alonso, he never like let it be publicly known the way Vinny did. He was handling like privately, like as you do professionally. Like this is also your job. Like he would let him know privately, and like he's like, I don't really like it, and then but that it was just that it was getting leaked because of other players like leaking everything.
I wonder who it is, Vidi.
Yeah, so I feel like he was sort of also put in there as a scapegoat with Vinny and Valverde, even though he was willingly trying to do what Xabi Alonso was doing him and would publicly back him any chance he could get, even though privately it might have been a different situation, but he never like let that be known.
Yeah, it's crazy that that comes to like light about the Xabi Alonso thing. Like it kind of got confirmed by was it Romano or someone else? I forgot. That was like a huge Madrid account. But that comes out, and then the next thing that comes out about Bellingham, like fans criticizing him, is that he drinks too much, saying that he's been to every bar in Spain, that he loves the limelight, that he's been constantly pictured in the training sessions looking hungover. So again, this is where everything starts. That's why I think the club is crumbling within Jesse. I think it's the players talking shit to each other. Because even there's a Fran Garcia interview that just came out, and he said like, "Oh, I wish like players like Mbappe would press more because it'll help the team a lot." It's like, is Mbappe gonna like that? Again, is Florentino more than likely gonna back up Mbappe on that and talk shit to Fran Garcia? Yeah.
Well, it's because currently the team is divided in factions because the ones that support Xabi and the ones that like have their own little power trip, it's because they just want to like the other ones want to like play football and win, and the other ones like want to get their laurels because they're like, oh, but we've already won two Champions Leagues with this Madrid team. It's like we are the new legends and things like that, but like you're still not legends, and it's just they're just like riding on this high, and they're just like now they're fighting with each other.
Jesse, the AFCON final was this weekend between Morocco and Senegal. A lot of implications happened. Well, a lot of implications. A lot of things happened that match. For the first 90 minutes, it was like a standard tense final. Nothing crazy happened other than one or two chances. But then Senegal scores off a corner, Jesse, and
Mm.
gets disallowed, and they
Yeah.
disallow the goal. Your thoughts on that goal?
What was the reason for it again? I can't remember.
They said it was kind
Foul,
of like a
right?
push off.
Right, it was a foul.
That's what they said. But in my eyes, I think that's too weak of a call.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I felt like it was pretty soft, but then again, like I think is the common problem nowadays, the way with VAR and like any replay, like they put it in slow motion and it makes it look worse than anything else.
Yeah.
So I think that could be attributed to it. But yeah, it was for sure soft.
And then a couple minutes later, they call a soft penalty for
Morocco.
Morocco. And Senegalese manager and players were not too happy about that, Jesse.
Yeah, the Senegal coach actually called for a walkout and told his team to leave, and which all of them did except for one.
It is insane. I've never seen that happen in a football game, especially in a final of this like caliber. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think emotions were riding high from like the previous disallowed goal to now this soft penalty call. I don't know what to make of it. Would you have
Yeah,
left?
no, because then that's also part of the reason as how Mane was able to get them out. He's like, if you walk out now, even though with like the penalty not being shot and the game still not officially being called, you just give up any chance you have of possibly winning. And plus, the reason why they were like, I think they were so passionate about leaving is because there was a whole narrative about because Morocco was hosting the AFCON, and there was also like a whole narrative of a bias towards Morocco, especially from like the referees are saying that a lot of calls were going their way, and they felt like this was a situation where sort of AFCON was trying to build up Morocco as like potential like favorite for the next year's World Cup or like this year's World Cup, and like trying to like build up hype through that. And yeah, I
Especially how
guess
they
it
did last World Cup, like semifinalists for the first time ever, have them win AFCON and just build on that momentum.
yeah, they felt that that was the situation, and their emotions got the better of them, and they just left. And until Mane brought them back out to play the rest of the match, and then the penalty was taken.
By your boy, dude, Raheem Diaz, who's at that point player of the tournament, no doubt about it. He's been playing so good. I don't know if he still ended up winning it, but
No, I know he for sure got top goal scorer. I
mhm.
don't know if he got the golden ball.
So he shot his penalty and he tried to do a panenka, which didn't help the situation, and Eduard Mendy saved it.
Yeah, I don't blame him. You know, at that decision, you have three choices: left, right, down the middle. He went with down the middle, and Mendy stayed still or stayed in the middle.
It stayed in the middle, but I was telling you before we started recording, in my opinion, they should have replayed the penalty because Eduardo Mendy did come off his line, but
Yeah, but
you mentioned that you're like, it's not possible.
yeah, they weren't going to do it, especially with this whole situation of them coming uh back or like leaving and then coming back. If
They would have
they
left
re
again. They
Yeah,
would
they
have left
it
again.
basically would have just been the end of the game. There would be no chance of them coming back to finish the game because it was already like I want to say like 15 minutes of them like people or like the Morocco team just waiting for them to come back and play.
They iced them, dude.
Yeah. And then after that, after like immediately after that, the ref called it, and they went to extra times, and then that's when Senegal got their goal, and basically was the end of it.
Yeah, I think obviously emotions run high in a final, but that's kind of being a sole loser what Senegal did. Sure, there's like saying they could say like there's bias towards Morocco, but unless there's like concrete evidence, because clearly, yeah, VAR helped out in the situation with taking off the goal by slowing it down, and same thing with the penalty call, they slowed it down, so that's not the ref's fault. But yeah, it just tainted the whole tournament in my opinion.
Yeah, it just it gives it a bad look. It makes it look unprofessional.
Because everyone was calling this tournament like pure football, and then the final came around and it was anything but that. It
Yeah,
went back to like new school, VAR, 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 sore loser, leave the pitch, come back. It was just a whole debacle. So I don't know. Honestly, I left me with a sour taste in my mouth. I would have liked to see Morocco win and score that penalty, but it is what it is.
yeah. It's a disappointing end for like what was looking like a really good tournament. Because at the beginning of it, it was a great watch. There was, they were actually playing football, not what they play in the Premier League, whatever they call that. And it was enjoyable, but the way it ends, it's always like I said, endings are always the worst.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think about the AFCON tournament and that whole situation. Should the penalty have been replayed? Should what is it? Senegal been disqualified at the time? Because you said it was like what 15 minutes that they were gone.
Yeah.
They gave them way too much time. In my local league, if you're gone for 5 minutes and not there on time, they what is it? They give you a goal to the opposite team and then at 10 minutes pass, it's an automatic forfeit. That should have been an automatic forfeit.
Yeah, but they were never gonna do that.
No. But yeah, lastly, to end the show, we do have a huge Champions League matchup with one big club and then another one trying to be a big club. Inter Milan versus Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal for the Champions League. Champions League week is back this week. And yeah, it's not that many great matchups. There's a lot of clear favorites and then some mediocre matchups really.
But again, I think I mentioned it earlier. There's a lot of matches that are important but not good on paper.
Yeah, on paper they don't look great, but like points wise, like some of the teams will be going all out because this is for survival. Some teams for like to make it through to at least what is it, the elimination round, and the other teams just to make it through to having like what is it, play less games.
Well, automatic qualification to the round
Yeah,
of
yeah,
16.
yeah.
So yeah, keep an eye on that one. That's the one we specifically picked. And if we were to pick a winner, we are clearly going with Inter Milan. There's no doubt about it. We are Arsenal haters at the moment.
At the moment, for life, Jerry,
For
catch
me, I
me.
think until Arteta leaves, I think they'll be good. You know what pissed me off today? I saw it because you know how Hansi Flick only has one more year of his contract, right? Next year is his last year,
Hmm.
and it doesn't look like he's gonna renew, because he wants to retire. Um, do you know who the candidates for the job are?
Mikel Arteta.
Is one of them, and then Luis Enrique. But I saw Mikel Arteta's name, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, do not bring him near my club.
I hope it happens.
I
Oh
would, you would, should not hope it happens, Jesse, because I think they can win the league, and they'll just make it a super defensive team. You don't want that.
no, Jerry, because Arteta can't win the league. He's proven that with our.
He can't win the Premier League. I'll say that.
He can't win the league. He hasn't won the trophy except for the FA Cup like 7 years ago.
And can't forget the Community Shield, dude. That's a
All right,
huge
all right,
trophy.
all right. That's so we're just lying at this point.
But yeah, I saw that rumor and it just absolutely left a bad taste in my mouth. I hope we do get Luis Enrique back, but it doesn't look like it because again, his contract expires this summer, and Hansi Flick contract expires next summer. So
Hey, maybe he comes to Real Madrid.
I don't think that'll happen.
Why not? He's a former
Oh,
Real Madrid player.
but he hates Madrid too.
Yeah, but you never know. He could come back,
Then it wins, but I don't think he will. And yeah, like you said, I think he might be enticed by the City job,
maybe.
or he takes on the challenge at Manchester United, dude, or even Tottenham. You know.
All right.
But all right, that's all I got, Jesse.
Oh,
Anything else?
my boy Nico Paz scored 2 goals today.
He's not coming back to Madrid, Jesse, especially after Xabi Alonso left. It's over.
It's already been confirmed he's coming back, Jerry. My boy's coming back. He's coming home.
They're gonna play him as a DM.
My boy's coming back. All right, my boy's coming back.
All right, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.
Peace.